Introducing a learning object to make learning accessible and engage and support diverse learners, by Ursula Murphy from the North West Regional College. The aim of this project is to review and reflect on the Level 1 learning resources to include more use of technology to enhance learning by introducing a learning object video podcast to facilitate teaching to satisfy the LLUK Standards 2009, to offer a modern medium for referencing purposes, to support student learning by creating 4 short fragmented videos on the fresh cuts of vegetables to cater for and engage differentiated learners, to encourage diverse learners to access the resources at any time or any place to practice and develop skills at his or her own pace of learning, to assess the potential of student learning and identify the need for video podcasts to assist teaching diverse learners. The rationale behind this idea was identified after student induction programme. It was too short, affecting gradual learning, scaffolding. Student difficulties were identified remembering French cuts of vegetables. The students lacked interest in reading material such as handouts. They preferred to hear, see and taste something instead. On reviewing resources on Moodle, videos were downloaded from YouTube, not in colloquial language, and most were too long. As the average person switches off concentration after approximately 2 minutes, it is paramount that videos are short. The challenge for me as a lecturer was to reflect on current teaching practices using the 350 degrees feedback and introducing a new form of technology to improve efficiency of time, relinquish the responsibility of repeating everything time and time again, to improve teaching and most importantly to achieve student learning, to encourage teamwork between peers, to publish videos and post to YouTube, and finally to create student email accounts on the college iPad and link it with YouTube. The plan on week 1 was to create a SurveyMonkey to assess and identify the potential for student access to the internet, the student preferred learning styles and what motivates each student to learn easily. Week 2, the videos were recorded and posted on YouTube. The links were set up on the college Moodle and emails were set up as well with that group in order to send the link from YouTube. Oral questions were asked throughout practical class to assess the understanding of the jardiniere and macédoine, first 2 cuts of vegetables. Students demonstrated their learning by preparing the vegetables appropriately as per instruction on the video. Week 3, interviews took place with the hospitality lecturers from the Level 1 team. We identified the potential need for video podcasting to support teaching and learning. We also discussed the possible advantages of using YouTube and Moodle to support teaching, and then the students demonstrated their competency of the French cuts of vegetables, julienne and brunoise, and finally completed a multiple choice question paper to assess their knowledge. Wiley believes innovation of technology, the introduction of learning objects are an asset, therefore the way forward for those who wish to learn. It has potential to increase time efficiency in the classroom and will promote diverse motivation within the group of students. The findings from this SurveyMonkey was that there was a high percentage of internet use. %80 of students access or use YouTube on a regular basis, and this is a modern medium to connect with student learning. 90% of students believed that video demonstration and tasks would benefit their learning. 80% like to access video links on the internet, watch and listen to them and try later. There was positive feedback from the interview, and which determined that peer-to-peer exchange of lessons and Level 1 course materials were to be shared in the future within the Level 1 team, and the team are to review and create any new resources in the future. Video podcasts. Moodle reports identified 90% of students watched the videos and the remaining 10% accessed them through the email link as they had problems with their college login details. 90% of the students agreed teacher engagement or encouragement motivated them to learn more easily. Video podcasting has potential benefit to some students but not all. 30% require more time to assimilate and accommodate this information, and this is identified in the pie chart where the multiple choice question paper results after the students viewed podcast, leaving 70% students competent and 30% needing further training. Conclusion of this project. Unless we continue to reflect and evaluate using the spiral of self-reflection, teaching or learning may not be improved. Video podcasting is a live form of theory, can be accessed anywhere or at any time to improve their educational experience, and it must be updated, the resources, on a regular basis. A high percentage of students use the internet, using modern technology as a way forward to future teaching and learning. SurveyMonkey suggests that 90% of students feel videos would improve their learning experience, but only 70% prove to be competent. 30% need more than 3 weeks to assimilate and accommodate this information. Assessment can be a live practice, not always written detail for this Level 1 course. Recommendations include: suggest that all students make more use of the online learning resources to support his or her pace of learning and take ownership of their own learning. More teacher and student communication. Incorporate social media outlets such as Facebook and Twitter for sharing the YouTube videos. Introduce a question box or a traffic light system to identify student learning and understanding at the end of each lesson. Further develop more learning resources or objects for all of these Level 1 courses to enhance teaching and learning, both for the teacher and the student. Thank you for listening to my podcast.